Let's Talk Oculus, a VR podcast, is proudly sponsored by the good folks at Patreon. If you want to support the show, join us on patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus. What's up, Oculus nerds? Welcome back to episode 165 of Let's Talk Oculus. This is one of the holiday special episodes. I'm your host as always. I'm Dan, and I'm joined by Santa himself. It's Santa Samson. How you doing?
Ho, ho, ho. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm sad that I can't wear my Santa hat because it just doesn't fit on my head. I mean, for the video watchers, it doesn't look pretty good right now.
It's hard to tell if the hat's small or your head's big. I won't lie.
It's true. It's true. I am a medium helmet size. It's what I know from my go-karting days. You know, take that as you will. Take that as you will. So I have no idea what that means. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, this is one of our 2 holiday episodes. We've got today, which is going to be a very relaxed episode, very different to what we're normally, normally we get into the news, what we've been playing, the games out this week and everything. But Samson, it's the holidays next week, and it's always a great time to look back on a 2024 and reflect and see what was good, see what was bad, see what we can improve for the new year. So Samson, you've got your Santa's hat on. I've got my my tea right next to me right here. So I want to settle into this.
Good little rhyme there. Good little rhyme.
Little rhyme. So those of you at home listening or watching or wherever you listen to the show, get cozy if you can.
I've got water. It's a holiday water though.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. But
it tastes minty because I just had a mint.
There you go. It's special. Peppermint. Yeah. So what we're going to do in the way the structure of the show is going to be is that each part is still going to be broken down to 3 parts as we normally do, but part 1 will focus from January to May, part 2 will focus on another chunk, etc. But then at the end, we're going to answer 2 questions. The first question is what our favorite hidden gem game of the year was, and second, obviously our backlogs are massive, but what are the few games that we do want to focus on over the holiday period. So we'll get into that, and also I want your answers too. Let us know in the comments below. If it's on Spotify, message comments in there. If it's on YouTube, put the comments below. If it's on Discord, go into Discord, or just go on letstalkoculus@gmail.com and send us an email and let us know what your hidden gem and what your favorite game was of 2024 and what you're playing over the holidays and such. And it's a perfect segue into the Spotify comments. Samson, you said last week that we've been getting a lot of comments, and all of a sudden we had 3 last week.
It's a flood. It's a flood of comments. I love it. It's fantastic. Shall I start?
Yeah, you tell us.
Let me read the first.
Tell us the first one.
All right. First from Alan, who says, "Love this podcast. Always in a happier place when I finish listening to the podcast. Dan and Samson are a great double act, like Laurel and Hardy, Eric and Ernie, and Kermit and Miss Piggy. They just bounce off each other effortlessly. The pods are always well-informed and interesting. Please keep up the great work." Well, thank you, Alan.
Thank you so much. So the question is, who is Miss Piggy?
Yeah, that is the question.
That is the question, Alan.
Well, I mean, I know who it is, but, I won't say to hurt their feelings.
Well, for those of you on the audio, I'm wearing a green shirt, so I'm claiming Kermit. I'm claiming Kermit. Okay, next comment is from Matt. Matt writes in, he says, "Great show. This is my go-to podcast. I'm an audio engineer and work lots of weekends. I listen to LTO whilst traveling to work. Really enjoy the news, reviews, and interviews. I've discovered tons of games from the shows. Just joined the Discord too. Thanks again for everything y'all do for the VR community." Thank you so much, Matt. I actually don't know your Discord name.
Sorry. Thank you so much, Matt. But a Brit doing a y'all was fantastic.
Was it? I don't know how to do it.
I'm here for it.
What did I do? Can you mimic me? Right?
I can't. Well, you're just gonna have to listen to it back.
Watch it. I'll listen to it back when I edit it later this week. A lot of people say it at work, y'all, and I don't know. I'm trying it. Is it bad? Is it really bad? Did I do it again?
Keep doing it. I love it. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Matt, if you're an audio engineer, if you can tell me how I reduce the echo in my room, which has 2 walls right in front of me, that'd be great. Let me know. Let me know. I've been trying to figure it out. Samson, you want to read the third comment?
Yeah, sure. Third comment is from Jonah. You guys were my #1 podcast on Spotify Wrapped. I'm one of the 66 people. Great podcast. Keep it up. Thank you, Jonah.
Wow.
Oh, man. One of the 66.
So I noticed, though, for those of you who didn't listen to last week's podcast, 66 people. We had the like Spotify Wrapped, but for creators, and because we publish this podcast through Spotify, because then it becomes video on Spotify, and then it goes all to all the outlets as well. It's a really good platform. Anyway, 66 people were we had LTO as the #1 podcast that they listened to. What I noticed, Samson, is that I didn't really notice last week is that that's 66 Spotify listeners. So there could be more that had us as #1, but maybe for Apple Podcasts, which is primarily where a lot of people listen to the show. There's other ones out there as well. So 66 Spotify ones, especially if it's not like our #1 platform that we stream to, is pretty cool. Pretty cool. And it's great to hear from Jonah.
Dan, how big of a Star Wars fan are you? Because do you Order 66?
That's a big thing. Yeah. There's a big one, yeah. A big part of the dark side right there. I just want to shout out once again, like the 3 people who put comments in. Obviously, Alan we know well from he's been in the Discord for a while, but obviously Matt's just joined the Discord. But not everyone has Discord. I mean, like Matt and Jonah, I've not heard of your names before, but it's amazing to hear from people who listen to the show but are kind of more silent because they're not on Discord and such. So keep writing in, keep commenting, and we'll read it out on the show. And if you can comment lovely things like you guys have done, or you can also just send us some questions and such, and maybe some topics, and we'll cover that on the show for sure. But keep them coming on Spotify if you do that, on the YouTube, or on Discord, or just send us an email, letstalkoculus@gmail.com. And also, by the way, if you love us so much, send us $1 at Patreon as well. Sorry, go on, Sam.
Well, Dan, on the YouTube, I saw Noble Squashy got there on the comments and tried to defend himself in Among Us. Yeah, get out of town.
He's always in the comments.
The imposter.
He's always in the comments. All right, Samson. It's been a year. It's been a year, 2024. There's been a lot of good stuff for the Quest. It's been a very good year overall. We had the announcement of the Quest 3S, which is probably the biggest thing to stand out. If you're just thinking back, we've obviously had Batman release, which is one game of the year at the Game Awards as well, which was great to see. Even though they just threw it in there.
That's what I wanted.
Absolutely. So it's been a great year for Meta. It's been a great year for Quest in general. So this kind of list, what I did is, if those of you who listened to the show last year, we did the same thing, and you'll remember it takes me ages to put this script together, because I think it took me like an hour and a half.
You did good, kid.
What I did is I went to upload VR. I went all the way to the first article in January, and I went through every single article and wrote down all the key things that I thought was interesting. So it took a while. And this podcast is going to be a while as well, as we kind of go through. Most, like 99% maybe of what I wrote is all Quest specific. But I did add a couple non-Quest because there were significant moments in the VR which we had to mention as well.
And then I went through and I bolded about 2 stories each month that I felt particularly
strong about.
Strong or wanted to talk about. Yeah.
Okay, so let's begin, because it's been 9 minutes and we haven't spoken about one part, so it's going to be a big podcast. So let's start off with January, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to read through what I wrote down first, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so first of all, in January we had a leaked video of the Quest 3 Augments feature. Walkabout Mini Golf Around the World in 80 Days was released. Citra VR for the Nintendo 3DS emulator for the Quest was released. Feels like ages ago, right? Underdogs came out. Bulletstorm VR released. The official Dungeons and Dragons VR game was announced by the Demeo studio. Metropolis 2 Never Say Goodbye released, and Metro Awakening was announced, which is amazing because obviously that just came out recently, and it announced at the start of this year as well. Samson, let's start off with you then. Like, is there any like things that stand out from January?
Yeah, for sure. Underdogs releasing. That was a fantastic one that I very nearly beat that I got to get back into. I did also buy this one for one of my buddies who recently got back into his Quest 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then I totally forgot about the Dungeons and Dragons VR game announced by the Demeo studio. That completely slipped my mind. And so that was about a year ago, Dan, right?
Yeah. Next year, it'll be next year for sure. Like this will be, that game will be announced. I think this is going to be massive. I think they might just take their time. Resolution Games, who obviously publish Demeo itself, they'll take their time because obviously it's a big IP, and Demeo does so well in that kind of genre that now that they have the IP, if they can nail it, they're going to attract so many clientele. You know, and they're on the Quest, but they're also on the Apple Vision Pro, and they've already announced
and PlayStation.
And they've already announced that for the Android XR, all that news, which we'll probably cover in the new year or so. But like, you know, they're going to be around in many different places, so it's important that they get that right because it's going to bring in a lot of people. People underestimate the power of that brand, and like, I'm not a player, so I would be one maybe sometimes to underestimate it, but you see games like Baldur's Gate 3 that's on the PlayStation that does wonders, and you see Demeo as well, which is pretty impressive. But yeah, are you excited? Are you Dungeons and Dragons player? I don't think you are, right?
I'm not. No. I've played a couple times, but it's not something I got that into, mostly because I have a terrible imagination, Dan. And so I have a tough time like visualizing everything.
Yeah.
You know what solves that?
What's that?
I don't know. Maybe VR could.
Yeah, just give it to me. I don't need to think about it. Just give it to me. Underdogs. Let's talk about that for a moment. One of the biggest games that came out this year, and kind of like, it's not a game that anyone was kind of expecting. You know, it was. I'm not sure if it's like a proper indie title, but somewhat indie title, right? And it came out
completely indie.
It's completely indie, right? Yeah, I wasn't sure because I haven't wrote anything like that down, but blew everyone away. Like, from the art style, from the mechanics as well. Being a mech brawler, like, I'm very not a big fan of like mech brawlers itself because I just feel like they always feel kind of awkward. But this feels so natural, and then all the different weapons that you can get as well. They nailed this game. It was
the movement is fantastic because you're not moving like you would in a mech with a joystick or anything, or handles or anything. You're moving more like a Gorilla Tech, but it's not quite as light on your feet, right? Because you've got way more weight and you've got to punch, so you've got to like stop a lot.
Yeah. Is this the game that like you end up like hitting your walls at all? Like, did you ever get that close?
I played in big open space for this one.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Did you remember what your favorite loadout was, like on your like weapons that you had?
No, I don't remember my favorite at all. Actually, no. I do remember a nail gun that was pretty cool. I feel like I liked the shock the most.
Nice. I don't think I got that far in it to give big. You know, I just obviously remember the
new stuff
cannonball at the
They've
start.
Been updating it like a lot. Yeah,
it's been a while since I've been in it. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a long time.
You might hear about this game later on.
Yeah, you might do. Bulletstorm VR was a bit of a disappointment. That came out,
but it got some good updates. Yeah.
Later in the year, you picked it up.
We don't have
to
wait till those months to talk about those. We can, we can just knock out a Bulletstorm here.
I mean, I've not put Bulletstorm in any other ones, to be honest. But yeah,
I played it on the PlayStation VR for a bit.
Yeah, you did. Didn't you?
I did enjoy it. I got to get back in. You know me. On to the next, real quick.
The next. We have a podcast to talk about, you know.
But I should get it. Did like, I don't know. It felt like Bulletstorm for everything I've seen and read and heard about what Bulletstorm should feel like, right? Like, I didn't encounter bugs, stuff like that. It's pretty fun to like kill people and really crazy ways with that
you got the
whip
grapple
thing you get. Yeah, the grapple
such.
thing, and then you can shoot them and all that, and throw
It's
them
fun.
into things. It's wild.
I remember how fun it was on Xbox 360, but yeah, when I played it when it came out, and it just was not good at all. But I refunded it, and so. Yeah, I mean, the walkabout stuff, I've thrown them in here, but we're going to talk about that next week properly. But one other thing that I wanted to talk about before we move on is the Citra VR emulator. Yeah. I feel like that was such a big thing when it came out. You have proper 3D with the DS games itself. This is actually something I never got running properly. I still can't get it working.
Is it still up? I thought it might have gotten shut down.
Check that. I'm not too sure. I still have it on my Quest, like loaded and such, but I've never got it working. And I think it might be the actual files that just don't work, and I might need to test it out again.
Oh no, there's still the GitHub here.
Yeah, you can still get it. Yeah, Citra VR still going strong on like flat screen as well. Like you can get it for Steam Deck, you can get it for PC and such like that. It's still around and whatnot. But did you play much of this? I always feel with emulation, it's a big deal when it happens, but then it kind of gets old quick.
I played a couple things. A couple of them worked well, but yeah, it's just like, do I really want to play the 3DS that often while in VR? It's just not something I think about much, like think to go to. But it did work, like for some of the things, it did work well.
Yeah.
But
with the true 3D.
Unless I'm like hanging out with people and like they're all sort of on their phones type of deal, and then I guess it makes sense. But I don't know.
Yeah, very well.
Yeah, I guess it was updated October 5th, so.
It was, yeah. Oh, and also, other thing as well, the leaked video of the Quest 3 Augments feature, like you felt like it was going to come out, but then later in the year, for those of you who can't remember or don't know, like when they announced the Quest 3, they announced this Augments feature that was it's going to be, basically AR items that are like hooked into your world. So you walk into like your bedroom, for example, and then there's all of a sudden like a portal which you can press and you'll go straight to like Supernatural and do the fitness game or so. Or if there's like achievements in Asgard's Wrath, I think they showed you could have like the trophies in mixed reality rather in one of the rooms, and they'll stick, right? They're all hooked on there as well. And then I think in the leaked video, the guy was playing like pinball, like just a random pinball machine on his like coffee table and such. Mm-hmm. And there you could have a calendar stuck to your fridge and all that stuff. It would all look really cool and kind of look like what they're trying to do with the glasses, right? With the Orion, right? The Orion, glasses and such. That's kind of what they've wanted and such. But it was always meant to come out Q1 this year, and then the video leaked, and we all thought that okay, it must be around the corner, but then it just never happened. And then much later in the year, I think Boz on a Ask Me Anything or something confirmed that it just didn't work as well as they wanted it to, so they just kind of gone straight to the drawing board again. So and there's been nothing since. So we might not see this, maybe not at all.
Drawing board is, back to the start. Again,
yeah. So I don't think we'll see this at all until maybe a Quest 4. They'll probably hold it, which is a shame. It's definitely one big thing that they showed during the Connect and such. But yeah. Anyway,
all right, Jim. Let's get to February.
Samson, do you want to read out what happened in February?
You want me to read them out? Yeah, I'd love to. Version 62 update allowed for iPhone spatial video to be played on Quest, which is something I still keep forgetting to do.
That's why I put it in iPhone.
The Apple Vision Pro released in the US, which, Dan, you used it, right?
Yeah, I went to Seattle and tried it in February. Yeah.
Yeah. Good times. Sorry, I know I'm supposed to just read them all. I'm doing it.
That's okay.
Ubisoft said they were a bit disappointed by Assassin's Creed Nexus sales, not increasing VR investment going forward. Mm-hmm. Mark Zuckerberg's video on why Quest 3 is better than Vision Pro was released and was hilarious. Stranger Things VR released, and I think that was when Dan also returned.
Correct.
Sony shuts down Blood and Truth Studio and lays off staff at the studio behind Horizon Call of the Mountain. So sad, so sad. And there really have been way so many layoffs this whole year. Mm-hmm. I think each month probably you could have put a layoff story.
For sure.
And then MetaQuest Plus adds games catalog, which I'm also going to lead into the fact that I wanted to talk about this one, because I think that adding a games catalog is pretty huge to the MetaQuest Plus, because it means that you don't have to be subscribed for that long to have a base of games. And I think gives you 24 or 26 games.
Yeah, there's quite a few now,
if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And a lot of the big ones that you really want to, the staples, if you will, because Walkabout's in it.
Walkabout's in it. Also, they've just added Asgard's Wrath 2 on it as well. If you didn't pick that up, you know,
like, is that in the games catalog or is that just some
games catalog?
Wow,
they just added it as well. Like, if that wasn't, I'm pretty sure I swear I did read it when I was going through all of these articles. But yeah, they added it. So, like, obviously with Asgard's Wrath 2, if you bought a Quest 3 from September or October when it came out, up until, I mean, they kept pushing it, and they pushed it till July in the end. And I think that's when they finally called it a day. And then it was like 3 months of nothing when you buy a Quest, and then all of a sudden now you can buy Batman.
To be fair, Dan, they did keep pushing it, and then basically when they stopped doing that, they dropped the price.
Right, exactly.
When the Quest 3S
with the Quest 3S, yeah, with that big announcement, as we will get to. But yeah, I think the games catalog is massive. I think I said on the show way back in February that if I wasn't doing this podcast and I was just like a casual VR user, like, you know, I wasn't doing the YouTube channel or anything like that, I would have probably been that person who just subscribes to the games catalog and have like what I have in there, and then the odd chance like dabble into the odd game, you know, like a Batman and such when I want to. Like, I don't think I'd play it as much. I think because obviously I do this, I go through games like nothing, you know. We'll play like a couple hours and then move on to the next one, and such, just because we want to talk about them. But yeah, I think for the casual person, I think it's a great investment. I think with MetaQuest Plus at the start, maybe not, but now it's got a games catalog, it makes a big difference.
Listen, Dan, I don't know about where you are, but in the States, you can do a financing thing with Meta.
You can,
I believe you can do 20, 25, or 30.
Yeah, depending on the SKU that you want, yeah.
Yeah, I believe 30 might be for the Quest 3, and the other ones might be for the 3S.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I think it's around there, 20, it goes up by $5.
It might go to 35 too, I don't know. But you with those, you pay monthly, and you get the MetaQuest Plus for those 2 years or whatever. So it's a pretty good deal. It's
a great deal, and that's exactly what Xbox did with their like consoles. They did the exact same thing with Game Pass. You can buy it monthly. You can do it. I think you can do it in Canada as well. I don't think it's just US, but I might be wrong on that. But yeah, it's a fantastic deal, and I think it's interest free as well. So it's and you get like the extended warranty as well, and the damage protection, so that they, you know, I mean, you're getting what you're paying for when you do the math, and
you end up paying a little bit more,
right? But for $25 or so, you know, it's an incredible deal. So yeah, the MetaQuest game catalog was a great idea. Samsung, the iPhone spatial update, that you can now use iPhone spatial videos in Quest. The reason why I put this in there is because I really want you to put some of these spatial videos you do at Christmas and put them on the Discord, so we can download them. You know, just of your tree.
I don't have Nitro anymore, so I don't know if I can upload them.
No. You put them in the Google Drive, and then then put the Google Drive link in there. Yeah, exactly.
Good call.
Yeah, so it's not compressed, because everyone wants to try out this Christmas and see what it's like in Samsung's home under the tree.
Yeah. Well, near the tree. I don't know about under the tree.
Fair enough. Apple Vision Pro released in the US. That was pretty big.
Yeah, I did that in, I think, release day or release weekend. It was a pretty good experience, about a half hour long. It's heavy. And it was a bit cumbersome in that regard, like fitting wise, but those visuals looked really good. And I just wish that like the Disney Plus, and I wish they could get. I know they had the 52 NBA games, but I wish there was more. I wish I could do that any night of the week.
Yeah, rather than select ones. I went the other day. I think I saw someone. What did I see? I think it was just on Twitter or something, but they were talking about the Apple Vision Pro, because obviously it's been it's been out for almost a year now, and I think Belkin just came out with some other company just came out with a new head strap that you can buy on
top strap.
Yeah, it's not a top strap. It looks like the Razer one that they released on Quest. Like it goes behind your temple and such. But anyway, I looked at it and then I got into a bit of a rabbit hole and going onto Apple's website and going through, and I was like, gosh, I do want one. But then at the same time, it's so expensive. And also, I realized that when I did wear it, it is heavy on the front. It's comfortable on the back with it, but like it is front heavy, and it's like just wait, like. In 2-3 years time, this is going to be maybe a bit more affordable, but definitely more worth it in terms of your bang for your buck. So, and that's the one. The second version of this is the one that you want to really go for if you want to shell out the money, to be honest. But maybe. The thing is, like, also with like the Disney Plus stuff and such, that I don't personally, for me, I don't. Most of the time I'm watching like TV with my partner, for example, and such. So it's like very rare that I watch
3D experience isn't built for it.
It's true.
Like music
the immersive
videos and stuff.
So that's what I was going to say. Like the immersive stuff that's actually built for it, that I would be really interested in. And also working in I'm a Mac user, so working in VR would be great as well if it was comfortable enough. But alas, one day in the future. The Ubisoft a bit disappointed about Assassin's Creed was a really real shame when they said they're not increasing VR investment, because I thought Assassin's Creed was a solid game, like a really solid game. Like it wasn't Batman level in terms of how good it was, but it was still a really, really good game, especially that it was made for Quest 2.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine if it was built for Quest 3.
Right.
Even had like a Quest 3 update.
Right, exactly, right. So that was sad, because I think they could easily made a sequel just for the Quest 3 or Quest 4, and it would have done really well, especially with Batman doing so well as well. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. And then the layoffs are really sad. Like you saw Sony, especially at this time, laying off a lot of VR studios specifically. I mean, there's been layoffs constantly in the gaming world, but the VR studios constantly is a sad shame, and kind of maybe with Sony's shutting down all those like VR studios that have made the big games for them, it's kind of worrying for their platform. But that's where the third party picks up and delivers what they have, like Behemoth on PSVR 2 rather than the Quest version. All right, Samson, that's February. Let's move on to March.
Tides of March.
Sure. Yeah, sure. V63 update adds a nice lying down mode. Headspace XR releases Daft Punk music pack for Beat Saber. It's the only Beat Saber music I put on the list, but I thought, it's Daft Punk. Walkabout Minigolf Ice Lair.
I bolded it, so
there we go. Walkabout Minigolf's Ice Lair DLC came out. Very excited to talk about these Walkabout DLCs next week. Starship Home released, which is the mixed reality game that I talked about a month ago. And Max Mustard released. Quick mention there, Headspace XR, if you're interested in that, we did have the podcast with I can't remember exactly the title was, but someone involved in the creation of that app at Headspace itself. So if you want to go back to March or April, I think the interview was, go back on the LTO archives itself. And then Starship Home, a great mixed reality game. It's one that I actually do want to play more, maybe over Christmas time, because I don't got into it too much, but it has been touted as probably the best mixed reality game you can play on there.
Do you think a kid could play that one?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I think so. Okay. I think so. Samson, tell me about Max Mustard.
Yeah, let me tell you a little bit about Max Mustard, because it is a fantastic, absolutely fantastic platformer. If you're into Astrobot or if you enjoyed Lucky Tales, but it didn't quite scratch that itch, or what was that other platformer that was it also didn't quite scratch that itch. Max Mustard scratches all of your itches if you're into platformers. I assure you, the music's great.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I don't know that I like to go so far as to say it's easy, right? Because there were times where I did.
Yeah, I died a lot of times.
I did keep dying, yeah, right? But it isn't like a super big challenge, right? Like you're going to be able to do this one. And it's all about every level you need to find 3 little, I forget what they're called, little dudes, and they'll follow you behind once you capture them. And you need to capture enough of them in order to take on the boss. And there's, I think, 5 worlds.
Mm. And then this is the game that you completed. Your first game of 2024 that you did complete.
It was great. It was in record time. Fantastic.
Yeah,
I beat it all in one day.
Yeah, you did record time, because I remember we got the key, and then we were meeting with the dev. I've not wrote any of these names down, so apologies. But we met with Richie. That's it, from the Plank Experience. We had him on the show, so definitely once again go back to LTO. I think it was like 128 or 125, something like that, and go listen to that interview. It was great. Obviously, he talks about Richie's Plank Experience as well. But yeah, from that, like,
also, sorry, while you mentioned that, they have a Santa Claus update right now in Richie's Plank. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, because they also came out with, I didn't write that down, but they came out with like a big update for the first time. I think that was at the end of 2023, but like for the first time for ages. And then all of a sudden Max Mustard obviously came out as well. But yeah, it was a great interview. But yeah, I remember you just already finished the game before we had the interview, which was wild, because that normally doesn't happen at all.
It scratched all the itches I wanted. Yeah. It was fantastic. I had so much fun playing it. It was a bundle of joy, happiness. It was all smiles.
Yeah.
It was, if you want to feel good to play a video game, boom, Max Mustard. Cozy. It's a cozy game. The definition of a cozy game.
It is, and I think also, like, you saying it's easy, I think that's the bad idea. Like, I'm playing.
That's why I said I was hesitant to Call of Duty.
Yeah,
I didn't want to.
I think the game, it says so much about the game, because I am playing It Takes Two on the PlayStation 5 at the moment, and that's relatively an easy game, but it's so much fun and it's very clever in what it's doing. And it's the same kind of thing when it comes to Max Mustard. It stands up as one of the best platformers that I've played. It's so much fun. It's really good, and yeah, I mean, you complete it in seconds, so that's how good that game is. Definitely one of the top 3 games I would say that came out this year, and that's without thinking too much, to be honest. And then Samson, you also jumped into Beat Saber for the first time for a very long time with Daft Punk. Tell me about that.
Big Daft Punk guy, Dan. Yeah. Going back to high school, and now I've really fallen in love with their most recent album. I refuse to call it their last album,
right?
But But yeah, I'm a huge Daft Punk fan. They nailed all. I feel like they got a good chunk of of their songs in there. Mm-hmm. There were a couple ones where you got the song, then the song mixed with another song, and what I mean. So there were a couple like repeats, if you will. But those are doozies. Much like I haven't gotten into the Metallica back yet, but I know Metallica songs are also doozies. And a couple of these, I mean, one of them's over 7 minutes long. I think.
Yeah.
And they were tough, but very fun, good visually. If you're into Daft Punk and beating sabers, boom.
Yeah. The Metallica, I always love with the Metallica ones in Supernatural, obviously similar to Beat Saber, but obviously dedicated to fitness in North America, at least, because if you're in Europe, it doesn't work in there. But the Metallica songs are always cool because they have like songs that, like you said, that 7 minutes. Sometimes it feels like they're 9 minutes long, but I might be incorrect. But they go on forever. And they're fun. They're just so much fun to go along. And Daft Punk as well, just like classic dance songs, like absolute classics. But yeah, all right.
Did you ever play it?
I actually didn't know. I haven't been to Beat Saber for a while. I'm not gonna lie. I've done last time I've been a Beat Saber, I think I played I think Linkin Park had like they had their pack, but then they had like another version of their pack like much later on. I think that came out last year, and I think that was the last time I jumped in when they added a few more Linkin Park songs. But that's about it.
Gotcha.
No, I'm not really a big Beat Saber player, to be honest. Like it's great, it's a great game.
Your partner, Beat Saber?
No, not really. No. Anyway, moving on.
It's a good one. I feel like for novices.
It is absolutely. Walkabout mini golf's the one though. I feel like I keep going when it comes to other people coming in VR. I think I always just put.
And now you can play one on the phone too. Actually, Dan, I had to put my car in the shop, as you know, and while I was waiting for it, I played some Walkabout on my phone.
Oh, nice. How'd it go? It
went well. I unlocked a couple courses.
Did you play with the finger, the touch, or did you play with the motion?
Yeah, I only play with the touch. That's the only way to play.
Yeah,
for me, I'm no good with the motion.
Me too.
I got no motion in these hips.
No motion and no imagination is what you're saying today.
Yeah,
fair enough. Tell me about April. What happened in April?
Well, in April, V-Rider released, and we had them on the pod. So check out an April episode. I think
it was LTO 130 something.
Nailed it. Meta announces Quest software rebranding to Horizon OS, which will be available on third-party headsets. Ooh. Meta partnering with Microsoft to make a limited edition Quest headset that we still haven't seen and I'm very curious about.
Classic.
Plans to get rid of App Lab and just having early access in the store. And boy, oh boy, has that changed things. Arcade Paradise VR releases. Also a podcast episode.
Sam Clay. Oh.
Nope Challenge released. Walkabout Mini Golf Venice released. And version 65 lets you view panoramas captured by your phone. This I've also done. This was cool also. In fact, I'm changing my bold. I'm making it the panorama. Because the panorama, it really felt like you were there. It was cool. I'm still bolding.
You don't need to change the bold in the script. You can just talk about it.
Bolding it.
I put panoramas down because actually I didn't realize this was a thing. I'm not gonna lie. I knew it was a thing on the Apple Vision Pro. Yeah, I didn't know. So I need to try this out. I did not know this was a thing because that was one of the things in the Apple Vision Pro, which I thought that was amazing. Like finally, your panoramas, you can really see them properly. I didn't realize you could do this in the Quest, so this is something I need to test out in December and in the holidays. But you've done this before?
Yes. With the spatial videos, like because they both appear in the same sort of folder, I think, on the Quest, and so they just automatically boot. We're there, and yeah, it was really cool. It's the VR is a way to view a panorama, I'd say.
For sure. How do you bring them into VR? Like, do you just
just sync to my phone in the phone app?
Oh, you just do it via the phone app, and fair enough. Yeah, I wasn't sure because you said like a different folder. I wasn't sure. So you basically put them, you upload them to the Quest app on your phone. Very well.
Well, like in the Quest app, you can like automatically sync those types of files.
Oh, okay. It's good to know. I just want to shout out the 3 games: V-Rider, Arcade Paradise, and Nope Challenge. All 3 of them really good games. Nope, I can't get past anything, to be honest. Let's be honest. There's a big spider, and it's spiders everywhere. It's not even in the one spider challenge, as I found out. Like in the heights, the fear of heights challenge, the second one, there's a bloody spider chasing you up the wall as you're climbing up the, like, come on, what am I meant to do here? So very, very, really cool game, but just something that I personally can't play because I'm a wuss with these. Arcade Paradise VR, another fantastic game. One that is, Samson, I tell you now, you need to really get into this because you would love this game. This is made for you. But really fun game. And we had Sam Clay. I remember his name because talked to him a bit about Dig VR on Twitter recently. But and then also V-Rider. We had the Viral Games publishers on, as Rodolfo as well, who was also on the show recently for Swingle. but then all three of them were on the show, but all three really good games. Like V Rider, especially like V Rider. The reason why I want to focus on that one is because I'm not a bike guy at all. Like I don't, I'm not really into that at all. And I have played some like motorbike games on PlayStation or whatever before, but I played from like 2 seconds. Like you play the demo just to get a fix, and like I'm falling off, whatever. This game was so much fun, so well polished, so well done.
I struggled.
You struggle. I actually
you got. I mean, you need practice to get
you do.
good at this one.
You need to get the like and what's it called? The attachment, the handle thing that they said but yeah, it was a fantastic game. So Meta partnering with Microsoft to make a limited edition Quest, Samson. This black Quest 3 with like a green, like Xbox green facial interface. And
when do you think it comes?
Controller. I don't think it comes at all. I don't know what Meta do these Meta out of like, if I don't really focus on many tech companies. So like the only one I probably would look at is Apple, but it's only because I used to work for them and I don't anymore. So I don't even look at them that much anymore. But very like Meta are just very strange when it comes to some of their announcements. Like they do a lot of announcements which are like either way out or just never come. And it happens often. Like I'm not saying every tech company is flawless or anything like that, but you just, because we were focused on it, like notice it all the time. Look at even the updates, like update 67 comes out and it says this comes out, this, and then when it happens and nothing actually, some of the features actually don't come out until like maybe 4 updates later. It's just, I don't understand their like announcements. Maybe they just get too giddy and they get too excited.
Mark Zuckerberg seems to jump the gun, and I feel like he's tried to get better at it. But it still slips. It just comes out. He just
gets too excited.
Can't help himself. Yeah.
It's a shame that this never came out because this would have been great for the holidays. I think a lot of people, but maybe in their eyes, they're thinking maybe the Xbox Cloud gaming for Quest is just not there yet, so it doesn't make sense to like ship it as a big feature. Like it's still not like, you buy a Quest, I mean, it's there, but it's not in your face and such. And I think once this becomes more better, like cloud gaming works well on different platforms, but maybe when it works as well as that on Quest, that's when it becomes more of a push and something like this.
It depends on your internet, Dan. There's some people who do play the cloud gaming on the Quest.
Yeah, it does. Would you like a black Quest 3? I mean,
it would look pretty sick. It would look pretty sick.
It would look amazing, especially with that green, because the Xbox green is really nice. That like neon kind of green that they have, but alas.
I commented on the article. I asked if they think it's still coming.
Nice. Did they reply? Did Boz say anything now?
No, it just happened. No, it's the Upload VR article.
Oh, I see. All right, let's go into May. May, we had the JFK Memento released, which I swear was like before, but the article is there. Razer launched the Quest 3 head strap and facial interface that I tried. Upload Swing Golf. Ultimate Swing Golf released. Smash Drums mixed reality support came out. Power Wash Simulator Back to the Future DLC. Asgard Wrath 2 finally with the enhanced graphics mode on Quest 3 came out, and Horizon Workrooms revamp actually made it worse by taking a few features away, and it's still not that great.
Oh yeah, the Workrooms.
Yeah, I only put that in because I remember trying it and was disappointed. But Sam, I want to steer this conversation first to the JFK Memento because we both played it, experienced it. And it's fantastic.
It was fantastic.
Yeah. Jake, damn it. I can't talk now. I can't even punch you.
No, the JFK Memento is essentially a VR experience of learning everything there is to know about the JFK assassination. There are interviews with witnesses. There are like you can see evidence, like photos from their day, the videos. And
it recreates the scene, right?
Yeah.
So like you're aware like what it is like nowadays, and then it like overlays the historic of it, which is way they do that is amazing. And as well as you go into the book depository where the museum is currently, and it shows you how the museum is right now of people walking in and such. But then once again, it overlays with like how it would look like back then. Also goes into like the sniper, for example, and all the different like the cameras that were like the main cameras that captured footage, and has all that detail. It's like the best VR documentary I've ever watched, and I hope for more that are like this, because it was so perfectly done.
Very cool. I definitely recommend it if you're into documentaries, JFK, or history, any of that type of, if anything that we've just talked about interests you at all, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. It was fantastic. It was very well done.
And I went to, the year before, I went to Dallas, I just had a layover for like 4 or 5 hours. So I quickly jumped out and went from the airport to see it, and it was surreal. But then to put it on through Quest, I was like, wow, it's not as good as the real thing. It never is going to be, obviously, but it was so close. It was so close. And I think the company that did this also did the 9/11 one as well, which was, I think it came out much like 2 or 3 years prior to this. So, I don't know if they would do that, something like that again, but with their upgraded, what they've done with JFK, that would be fantastic. But alas, Samson, tell me about Smash Drums.
Yeah, well, Smash Drums got MR support, and then I started playing Smash Drums a little bit more than I did before that.
Right.
And it did just also get a new update of some early 2000 songs, some real good ones in there. I wish I knew them offhand, but I think Blur 2.0 was one of them, I won't sing it because we'll get DMCA.
I know what you're saying. It's classic
song. Good, but yeah, great songs. Anyway, Smash Drums has mixed reality, so you're smashing drums and you can see all your play space. You're not going to hit anything. Fantastic stuff. Smash Drums is a rhythm game where you have 3 different styles to play. I think I play in probably the least popular way, because I feel like most popular is kind of like Guitar Hero, where you have beats coming at you in 5 different colors, and all the drum set is static, and all the drums are different colors, and you have to hit those drums as those beats come.
So hard.
Yeah, I haven't really tried it since it first came out, because the mode I like has just cymbals and drums that are all pretty much the same shape consistently, just flying at you. Classic. And it just feels much more rhythm gamey for VR as opposed to like playing Guitar Hero style.
That is the classic mode, right? That was the original release and such. So you've been playing it nonstop. I think from this moment, which is impressive. Another game that you played nonstop for a little while was Ultimate Swing Golf. You didn't have this highlighted in your script.
Until I got stuck. Dan. I got to get back in.
On like level 50 or something, right? Or level 47.
It's this one dude there who I can't beat, and I don't want to just beat him by losing 5 times to him or whatever,
I forgot this game came out. Like, this is a game that's obviously everybody's golf or Hot Shots golf, wherever you are. That is basically the same. It's by the same people, and they just had to rebrand because I think that's owned by Sony, all that IP. But it's literally identical once you go in. I had a really good time with it. I actually forgot that this game existed, and it's on my Quest somewhere. So it's something I need to have a look at again. I also want. It has MR, yeah. It's okay. I don't love the MR. It's
decent for like showing off at like Christmas time, though.
It is, yeah, it is. Razer's head strap and facial interface, they were really expensive. Terrible, right? Yeah, I don't say terrible, but
it was comfortable but overpriced.
It was so expensive. Yeah, it was like, I think it cost me like $280 Canadian, which is around $240 for $230 or something.
Wow,
for both of them. And yeah, I've tried it on. I was always going to return them. I was never going to keep them. I just wanted to try them on. But the head strap was the problem with the soft head straps, apart from something like the Apple Vision Pro, is that they're kind of hard to get on. And once you get it on, and you got to adjust it with the 3 different tabs and such, and then obviously once you get it right, then maybe it'll be fine moving forward for the further play sessions. But then obviously if you put other people into VR, then you kind of move them along. So it kind of annoyed me a bit, but the facial interface, it was okay. It was quite decent, but like it wasn't like how much it cost. I can't remember how much it was, but yeah, it was one of those. And then the last thing I wanted to mention before we wrap this part up, Asgard's Wrath 2 enhanced graphics mode on Quest 3, came out on May 28th, like right at the end of May. And that was a sad one because that game obviously came out in December and it comes packaged with your Quest 3 when you buy it. Mm-hmm. It's a real shame that the enhanced graphics mode didn't come for so much longer. And then a lot of people have either played it and had their fix or such and not played it since. So it was a shame that this wasn't day and date. Like, I think what they did with Batman was perfect.
It was so hard to get that game to run on.
For sure. I'm not taking away from that, but I'm just saying, like, if this was going to happen. No, it doesn't. Yeah, you're not wrong. Anyway, Samson, that's been part one. That's our first quarter and a bit there. In part two, we're going to cover June and September. So we'll see you then.
Hey, we know public lobbies in VR games can be a bit toxic, feel a bit empty at times. That's why we created the Let's Talk Oculus Discord, a friendly community that you can join for multiplayer meetups, general VR chat, the game, and chat about VR, fitness motivation, and there's even a very impressive 3D printing channel. Join over 100 of our community members in the Let's Talk Oculus Discord for free. The link is right in the description.
All right, welcome back to part two, where we look back on 2024.
It's getting warm.
It's getting real warm. We're in June. Samson, what happened in June?
In June, Dan, other than, it was summertime, so you weren't in VR a lot, I bet.
Right.
Version 66 came out. Update significantly reduced Quest 3 pass-through distortion and warping. Silent Slayer released. Supernatural mixed reality support. Miracle Pool releases. And Upload VR summer showcase.
Well, I do want to point out, though, summertime I don't play VR much, if at all, because I used to live in Vancouver in a house and it used to get really hot and the AC didn't do anything. Now I'm in an apartment building, so we'll see what happens this summer. But I anticipate more
climate control.
Yeah, it's quite nice in here. But I want to point out the V66 update that had the pass-through distortion, warping, like reducing that. I wanted to point that out because it has been working really well. Like, the pass-through looks fantastic, and it has been approved since then as well. And you can read your phone no problem in there now, and things close up look quite sharp. And now I can literally play in front of the TV, and even if I'm watching, like, I have like a soccer game on in the background, I can still watch it like absolutely fine whilst playing like Squingle or anything like that. Like, it's still obviously it's not as good as if I took it off, but still it's watchable, which is great. So yeah, very important update.
Yeah, I also think that was very important. But that reminds me that I've been using that facial interface, the open one, a lot more these days, because my brother's back in town, and so just having someone around when I'm doing VR, I want to be a bit more cognizant of my whereabouts. So
nice.
Yeah, it's been pretty good.
I exclusively wear it now, to be honest. Exclusively wear it. But there's a lot of that. Pass-through is great. Supernatural mixed reality support, obviously, with the mixed reality. But Samson, let's talk about the game Miracle Pool. Tell me about this.
Well, Miracle Pool is a pool game where you play pool. You can play eight. It's
a good description right there.
Eight ball is normal.
8 ball.
Hole. There's 8 ball, and there's 9. There's 9 too.
There's 9.
Where you go in order. You go 1, 2, 3. But you ultimately want to hit the 9 ball in. But as long as you hit your ball, your numbered ball into the 9, and the 9 goes in, you can win early.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Pretty good.
Absolutely. If you break and the 9 ball goes in, you'll win.
You win.
Yeah.
Incredible stuff. And you can play, I think there's 9 AI opponents in each game, progressively getting harder. And as you sort of level up your as you play more, you earn XP. And as you earn XP, you unlock new cosmetic pool tables and pool cues.
Mm-hmm. I love this game.
I've got an umbrella pool cue, and
Yeah.
it is hard to use. I do not like that one.
No, you do get some wacky pool cues out there, to be honest. But I mean, I feel like that's the influence from Forever Bowl and such, right? With what they did with having all the bowling balls, which is wicked. But I don't think the pool cues do much in terms of differentiate, right?
They're all cosmetic. Well, no, there's some of them. I've got like bananas on mine. I've got one's like actually an umbrella.
No, but in terms of like, they don't have like special powers. I can't remember.
Oh, no. It's all cosmetic. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's no.
I got the banana one.
Yes, the banana.
The banana one. The banana. Na one.
No,
Yes.
it's banana. It's the banana one. Wait, Dan. But you can also, I want to say, there are 2 different pool table sizes. So if you're a little bit more limited on space, you can use a smaller table. But sort of what I recommend is what I preferred doing was using the full table, and then just you can always move it every turn, or like every shot you need.
Yeah. So what we have is in our apartments, like it's long, but it's thin. If you know what I'm talking about there. And
I understand long and thin.
You understand long and thin. So in the middle where the kitchen is, we have like an island, a kitchen island in there. So what I realized, I did this recently. I put the Miracle Pool table just above
the island.
Just above what the island was, so I could lean into the shots. And it works great. It works perfectly. The only problem is I also have a kitchen next to me, so it's not the best when it comes to. So I do need to use a thumbstick and move it, which always throws me off. Yeah, right. But I love this game. This is a amazing mixed reality game. In fact, this is a perfect mixed reality game. It works so well. Even like the way it starts, where you have your package and then you open the package, and then all of a sudden the pool table arrives in mixed reality. It is perfect. It's a really good game. I never play with the assists on as well. Just even though I'm not very good at it, it's still.
I'm a big assist guy.
I know you're a big assist guy. I think it's really cool. You can't play pool anywhere else that will replicate how pool is apart from Miracle Pool. Like, you can play it obviously in real life, but anything like on your phone playing pool before through like computer or anything like that, you can never get it right, or you always have the assists.
A lot of good pool flash games from whatever.
There is a lot of good pool, but there's nothing like the real thing, and Miracle Pool knocks it out of the park. Like, there are other pool games and such on VR, but this is the one that really stood out.
Listen,
and it was fantastic.
Now I want to know everybody's favorite flash pool game. Get in the comments. Let's go.
Roger that. All right, Samson, let's move to July. July, we had the V67 update, which disabled the boundary for mixed reality apps, which was pretty big. The Infinite Inside puzzle game released. The Exit 8 VR released. Mixed reality apps can now span throughout the entire home, which kind of goes with the V67 update. The rumor of Quest 4 to have 2 variants was rumored in July for 2026. Chess Club mixed reality mode, and they also lowered the price, I think, as well. And then the Walkabout Mini Golf Wallace and Gromit course released, which was definitely one of their biggest releases last year. Samson, where do you want to take this first?
Well, I want to just mention that friend of the show, Noble Squashy, I think has a world record in the Exit 8 VR.
Wow.
Yeah, speed run.
Wow.
I think he did it in just merely a few minutes.
Wow, amazing. Yeah, you can run, but you got to get it right every single time.
Yeah.
He must have just got the right ones every time. I had a great time with this.
But you can watch a video. I posted it somewhere in our Discord. Anyway, Infinite Inside's one that I do want to play, but I haven't yet. I know I won't. It's going to go right to the backlog, so I've just been holding off. Chess Club, our chess club is club and chess.
Club, yeah.
And I gotta get more games in. And my 2 losses to D-Max sort of demoralized me a little. I won't lie.
We should play together, and then you could beat me.
Some,
and you need some
Parody
novice.
Parody tells me she's probably more on my level. So
fair enough.
What's your level?
It's not. In terms of chess club, or just in?
Well, not like just in.
I would say I would say if there are ranked levels between 1 to 4, 4 being your master at chess, 1 being you barely know what you're doing in chess. It's quite a big boundary, to be honest. I would say I'm a 2. Like, I know what I'm doing. I know a few strategies. I can play for quite a while and continue. I can match some people, but sometimes I feel like I fail to make that the killer move.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's
I struggle with attacking. Generally play a little too defensive.
I think we might be similar.
Yeah.
I feel like if we played, we'd play for like 2 hours and still no one's getting anywhere.
I love that you used a 4 number scale. You could have chosen anything in the world, and you're like, let me choose 1 through 4. Fantastic. Anyway, yeah, chess club MMR mode. Love it. And it also puts stuff around your room. It sort of decorates your room for you.
It does, yeah, it does. It's really good. I really enjoy chess club.
Next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Wallace and Gromit walkabout next week for sure. But yeah, chess club, I love chess club. And having it in mixed reality is even better. I haven't played it for maybe a few months, but yeah, it was a fantastic game. And also,
You did play the Exit 8, right?
Yeah, I played. I almost finished it. I still haven't finished. I think I was going through it so many times, and then I finally got all the way to the last exit, one. I say, and I got it wrong, and I was like, God damn it! But it's a creepy game, but not a scary game. It's creepy.
It's just a feeling, right?
Yeah, it's a feeling. Like, you got this one guy who's always walking towards you, but then all the time he'll walk away, but then the odd time he'll start chasing you. It's like, oh my gosh, just like randomly, but it's nothing like horror or anything. And there's some like nods eerie to The Shining as well, that movie as well, but it's fun. I think it's like $5 or $10 max or something like that. It's a real short game. It's really small, but like it's worth doing.
8, 9, or 10.
Yeah, it's not expensive. It's not expensive, but it's worth doing. But Infinite Inside is something that I was really hyped about, and then played a little bit of it, and then as we do the show, I've just not gotten back into it. But it's a really good puzzle game. But I need more time to play games. I guess we've got the holidays coming up. Let's go to August, Samson. What's happening in August? We're getting closer to the end here.
Yeah, you can tell we're getting tired. In August, Dungeons of Eternity Arachnophobia mode released. The PSVR 2 PC adapter released. The VR Games Showcase happened.
Amazing.
GTA San Andreas for Quest was put on hold indefinitely. Confirmed all of our suspicions. Meta reportedly canceled Quest Pro 2, and everybody cried. Crockett Childhood Cancer DLC and Fracked released.
Yeah,
and there wasn't much in this month that I was that excited for. I will say, because I don't think Dungeons will come up again, that they currently have a winter update going.
Yeah.
To go. So that
4-player
and 4-player co-op. Yes. Good catch. But Dungeons of Eternity, fantastic game. I gotta hop in more. I've currently gotten hooked on a different dungeon game, Ancient Dungeon. But Dungeons of Eternity is fantastic.
It's a game that as soon as Arachnophobia mode came out, I did buy, because I think it was on sale too. I haven't jumped in at all yet.
I think they have a 50% discount right now for the next 21 days, which after time of airing probably is about like 14 days.
Yeah. But definitely pick it up. I need to pick this up. I think what you said, like August, maybe there's not a big thing to shout about as we've gone through this list, but at the time, August was massive because the VR game showcase came out, and it was the only game showcase we had. And I didn't write down, obviously, you can obviously go back, and if you really want to listen to it, we did a show and we covered everything. That one. Yeah. No, but like that was massive because there was so many games that were shown in that showcase, and so many really interesting ones that were going to come out later on that year as well. So I think at the time it was massive, but maybe looking back now, it might, going through the list, it might not be. Like Fact, for example, that was announced on the VR gaming showcase and came out right at the end of that month as well. And Fact was a massive PlayStation VR 1 game, like a big game that was kind of locked on that platform, and they ported it over to Quest. It's an action game. It's a dated kind of VR game, but it's a game that I really want to buy, actually. I
think what I've heard is it's pretty good, but it's kind of short.
Yeah, that's what I heard as well. So if it's on sale, I'll have a look at Fact.
When I started playing that one, and I returned it.
Yeah,
I never really wanted to go back.
That was you played that on PC, right? Yeah,
I did.
Samson, the PSVR 2 PC adapter, probably the only time I mentioned PSVR 2 in this, maybe twice actually, but yeah, you've got that, you bought that. It's obviously limits you don't have all of the features of the headset, but you have the OLED panels.
I don't utilize it enough because honestly, just going back and forth and having to ring sync controllers, not something I'm that into, but I do know folks that do use it very often, and I haven't. What did I go back? I feel like I did just use it again for it. I don't remember what, but yeah, I've just been using my PSVR 2 for PSVR 2 quite a bit, but I do have that adapter ready. I want to use it for a big screen, I think, and a VR chat. Ooh, VR chat with the lights, Christmas lights. I should look into that.
Yeah, you should look into that. I mean, we haven't really mentioned it here, but your year this year has been very PSVR 2 heavy. You bought it in the second half of the year, and I think
I wouldn't go that far. I only spent like 170 hours or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not that much. Not that much at all. So yeah.
Well, our meta recaps haven't come out yet, but I guarantee it's more than that.
Oh yeah, I forget Metagrid does a recap, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm curious to see what happens in there. Okay, September. What's happening in September? Is it your turn or my turn?
Well, it's your turn, but I'll do it again if you'd like.
It's okay. I'll do it. We're taking turns. Hitman 3 Reloaded released. V69 brought the adaptive brightness, which was actually very big for mixed reality. Walkabout Mini Golf Mars Garden DLC. I guess I've put all these in the script perfect, Samson, for next week's show where I can pick them all out from all these months. The Meta Connect was obviously that month. The Quest 3S got announced, and the new Quest 3 and 3S accessories got shown off and released. Quest 3 price drop happened, which was, I would think, the biggest news, to be honest. It went down to $499, which was the entry-level price, but for 512 gigabytes now. And the Logic MX Ink released as well. I think D-Max, a friend of the show, just got one as well.
I'm excited to hear what he has to say.
And Supernatural got group-based workouts as well. So, Samson, I'll kick it off to you first. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I want to talk about this price drop from $650 to $499 for the 512, because with it came the price drops, or the price release of the Quest 3S's of $300 and $400, and so that's just such the chef's kiss of price points for VR entry points.
Yeah, they nailed it.
Yeah, price points, entry points. Yeah. And I feel bad for all all us early adopters, but that's the price of early adoption is $150 apparently.
And not too bad anyway, because we had the Quest for like a whole year as well, right? The Quest 3 for the whole year. So not that bad. It's not like what the Quest Pro's price drop and inevitable death. I do not feel
ripped off.
No, not at all.
But this is just fantastic for VR. What's one that you wanted to talk about? Well, do you want more on this? You got
more? I was just going to say is that you also picked up a second Quest 3 because of this,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because you got it on.
Well,
did you get refurb or?
Yeah, I got a refurb. Yeah,
Yeah, and that how much was a refurb? You remember?
it was 400.
It was 400. So yeah, it was the same price as the 256 Quest 3S, which is pretty big with that refurb, to be honest. Especially if you want a bit of a better system, especially with the pancake lenses. Anyway, those lenses are phenomenal. Yeah, the Quest 3. I mean, we haven't obviously spoken about it, but the 3S throughout the whole year had been leaked, and we kind of seen what it looked like and all of that stuff all before. And the leaks were awful, to be honest. Like they just kept going. They were everywhere. It's like Meta wasn't even trying and keep it a secret. Like they were everywhere. But the Kinect came on, and the Kinect was the VR part was just, it was a bit rushed. I think they were a bit delayed to start, and it was only like 15 minutes.
That was fun. Our live stream though.
And we did a live stream, which was always fun. I was also thinking, like, the VR game showcase, I'll probably do another one next year. We should, if we can try and live stream the game showcase next year as well. That would be fun. Maybe you'll do the stream this time with your beefy computer compared to...
Hopefully we get to 1K before then, because we could monetize it.
That's true. We're on just over 500 subscribers on the YouTube, so definitely keep subscribing on there. Even if you don't want to watch the show on there, just subscribe. Just support us. I just wanted to obviously point out the Quest 3, the accessories itself, like the open facial interface that you just spoke about. I use that daily now. I think it's fantastic because it just gives more air to my eyes, so it can, for me, just better for me to just be in VR for longer because of that. Obviously, Hitman 3 did not come out with great reviews at all, which was a real shame. It was
more like Hitman 3 Unloaded.
Hey. But yeah, that's it, to be honest. I think it was a big month once again. It was just like August. Like at the time, it was a big month. There was a lot happening and a lot of anticipation for the fall with October and with all those releases. So let's kind of stop part 2 there. And part 3, we're going to go into October up until now. So we'll see you then. Let's Talk Oculus is available on all good podcast platforms and some rubbish ones as well. If you want to see the video version, it's available on YouTube and Spotify. And also, if you love us so much, then consider throwing us $1 at patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus. Back to the show. All right, welcome back to part 3, where we've been going over, as you probably already know by now, 2024 for the Quest and some of the other VR platforms as well. But Samson, let's start off with October, which was one hell of a month. What we got going on?
Yeah, this is quite the month, Dan, because first of all, Dig VR released. Mm-hmm. Then the Walkabout Mini Golf iPhone app, previously mentioned on this podcast, also released. The Quest 3S released. Batman Arkham Shadow released. Arizona Sunshine Remake released. 8-Bit Lair released. That's 2 Walkabout stories in 1 month. Maestro released. Vendetta Forever released. And Gargoyle Doyle released. Gargoyle Doyle was a special little hidden gem that told the story of a church. I forget where the church was, Dan. Listen, this was back in October, okay?
Let's say it was France.
Okay, it was Europe. I know it was Europe.
There you go.
But it told the story of this church through the lens of these 2 gargoyles on the side of the building, sort of bickering in your old couple sort of style of bickering. And it had very good humor if you're into dad jokes like I am, puns of the sort. But just learning a little bit of history. Not much like interaction, definitely more of like a learning experience type of deal, but had basic VR interactions here and there. Like pick this, do that, things of the sort. But I did really enjoy it. It was funny.
Yeah, this is actually something I have not put on my list to check out over the holidays, but I really want to. I think it's only $10 or so as well. It's not that expensive either. And yeah, I want to try this. I also want to mention that Dig VR actually came out in November. I think I wrote October because the Upload VR article had it released for October, but maybe it got delayed. So I'm not too sure.
They delayed. Yeah, Dig did delay because they delayed because of Batman.
Yeah.
They were going to release on Batman's Day.
Yeah, because I was like, I swear I just talked about Dig VR recently on the show. So, yeah, Dig VR, though, really cool in terms of a power wash simulator kind of thing. Obviously, the Quest 3 releasing with, that was obviously a big thing. But Samson, I know we've talked about it so much, but we have to talk about it one more time. Batman Arkham Shadow released VR Game of the Year, according to the Game of the Year Awards, the Game Awards and such. I've not obviously finished it or anything. I can't remember how much I've been in and such, but it's definitely something I want to play more and probably want to finish over the holidays, to be honest. But out of all the games, the thing is, like, when it comes to VR, there's a lot of hidden gems when it comes to indie games. We've talked about Underdogs, we've talked about Max Mustard, two amazing games. But not often does a proper AAA game hit the mark as well as Batman. And Batman was just flawed when it comes to combat. And I've mentioned this when we had the podcast. It's absolutely flawless. And then obviously with the rest of the game, it's a really good game. I have to finish it before I can tell you my full thoughts on it. But what I have played, it's really fun and really engaging. The environments are really nice, and it's not too in depth, but it just gives you a little bit enough in terms of some hidden trophies and such. Even though it's a very linear game.
The movement combat is it's so on point. It feels really good. That's some of my favorite melee combat in VR.
Yeah, it feels it's so good.
It's hard though.
It can be hard, but it's so good and enjoyable and satisfying when you get right. And that's why they've got the challenge modes, the challenge maps. I mean, you have that in the actual Arkham games as well, but that's also because in the Arkham games, the combat is absolutely wicked. When Arkham Asylum came out in 2011 or whenever it came out, I can't remember, that combat was phenomenal. It was so different, where you just button match you button match the square button. There's a triangle for a counter, and it was so easy to do, but also so satisfying with all the different animations, and they nailed it so perfectly in the game, and it was so impressive. And yeah, the challenge maps itself, they keep putting out updates. There's more updates in January that are going to come out. And the challenge maps are so much fun to do because you're just continuously fighting and trying to get combos and such. And yeah, Camouflage absolutely nailed this game. Is it a 10 out of 10 game? Is it perfect? I don't know. It probably isn't, but that combat is. And so far what I've been playing is really enjoyable. And we talked about Assassin's Creed. Asgard's Wrath 2 obviously came out, and Asgard's Wrath 2, back in December, was a little bit different because it was such a big game. Not many people would be into that, playing a 60-hour game or something, but that was still unprecedented. But Batman Arkham Shadow, it's everyone has it who bought a Quest 3 or 3S. Mm-hmm. Everyone has this game.
Even
everyone
now.
Probably... Yeah, and even probably everyone has it, even if they didn't buy a Quest 3 or 3S in this period, right? It's a standout game. It's the number one game, of why you would buy a Quest 3, hands down, since the Quest 3 has been released. And yeah, what a game.
Also, Maestro released in October, and Maestro was a good time.
It's great.
Sorry, it's hard to follow Batman.
No,
but and Maestro just had the new DLC.
Yeah, with Fantasia.
And Harry Potter. I saw a Harry Potter song in there.
I think they've got two Harry Potter songs. They've got Disney Fantasia as well in there. Samson, I haven't played Maestro yet, and I'm really sad. I just haven't gotten around to it. And I obviously played the demo. I played the demo that was out, back in July and August and whatnot. But this is a game that I was so anticipating. But I think
I was get in though. Yeah,
I was away for most of October, right? And then when I came back, it was just straight. Okay, I need to play Batman. And then all of a sudden, Metro came out, and then all of a sudden, the games just keep coming.
Yeah, you missed a lot of October.
So this is one for sure with the DLC. But you love Maestro, right? It
was a good time. Yeah, I got to get back in. But I do want to play these Harry Potter songs in particular.
Yeah, for sure. Any other on the list here, Samson? I think I wanted, obviously, the Walkabout Mini Golf iPhone app. Obviously, that's not Quest related, but a pretty big thing as you mentioned it when you
huge
waiting for your car. 8-Bit Lair was a big one too. But Vendetta Forever is the one that I actually haven't checked out too. That also reviewed really, really well.
I haven't played that one.
No, I haven't
other
played
than
that.
the demo.
I haven't played that game at all, but like a really good, fun action game. But it is I think it's very similar to like the Super Hot or Action Hero, as I spoke about last week, where it's like slow motion kind of mechanics. But
you move, I think you teleport when you pick up the weapons type of deal.
Right,
or when you kill enemies, maybe.
It's something like that. It's not exactly like a Super Hot, but it's got that kind of aspect of that slow motion and such. They call it low kill motion is what the actual official title is, but that got reviewed heavily. I think a lot of review outlets gave it like 9 out of 10 and such, and kind of slipped under the radar because of Maestro and because of Batman and Arizona Sunshine remake as well. Like there's so many big games that came out in October, so kind of slipped under the radar. But yeah, that's another game to check out for sure. Okay, let's look at November.
Why don't you take us to November, Dan?
I will. Metro Awakening came out right at the start. Alien Rogue Incursion got delayed till February, at least for Quest owners. Metro Arachnophobia Mode quickly came out, within like 2 weeks of it coming out with Awakening. Wartown Wonders came out. You played a bunch of that. They have a Christmas update.
They do. It looks nice.
It looks really nice, yeah. Squingle released, and we obviously had the developer on the show that you can go listen to. New and cheaper B Haptics Fest release. We never really spoke about this on the show at all, but just wanted to point that out there.
I want them.
Trombone Champ and Flattened released, arguably Game of the Year, and Thrill of the Fight 2 multiplayer access just released, and PSVR 2 mega discounts to $350 over Black
Almost
Friday.
Got you back.
Almost, and it also still is on discount at some places. I saw Amazon still has a discount, at least in Canada, and we're way past Black Friday now, so that's all in there as well.
Yeah, I think they're gonna do it through January, or like through this month.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. It's smart because I think it sold really well. I think I read the stat where like when it dropped, it did a price drop in like August or something like that, and it sold more in one day than it did for the entire lifetime of the PlayStation VR 2. And that was the August price drop, or days of play. I think it was in the summertime, which was very limited. I think it only lasted like a week or two, and it was a heavy drop, but this is even heavier. And, so we'll see what happens. It's probably on a lot of people's Christmas trees if they, do that. Samson, what? Let's talk about Trombone Champ real quick, because obviously these podcast episodes were very recent, but let's quickly mention Trombone Champ.
Well, Trombone Champ is Trombone Champ unflattened, so it's identical to the flat Trombone Champ, even to the point of using the same custom songs, same custom tracks. And this one is a doozy of a good time. If you want to smile and play a rhythm game, Trombone Champ is just what you need, because it's ridiculous. You can unlock absurd trombones. Essentially, you unlock cards, and then you trade those in for new trombones. And there's mixed reality. I don't really mess around with this one, mixed reality, much, because honestly, I've been playing much on my PlayStation VR. But it's very fun. It's just like so much fun to just play trombone in this and be ridiculous, and I'm not that great.
I think there's VR games especially like really thrive on these type of experiences where they are just silly fun, but so much fun. Like fun is the word. Like there's no better word to describe it, to be honest. Like that is what this game is. And I play only in mixed reality, to be honest. Every time I've picked it up, I only play in mixed reality. I just like it like that, with the notes flying in midair and such. It's pretty cool. And you're doing it in front of a gallery. It looks like I have a window in my apartment, and the gallery's just, it's like I'm like on the balcony just doing it over, It's so much fun. We spoke about it at length in the show we did just at the end of November there, but yeah.
It's a decent pass and play multiplayer game too, I'd say.
Yeah, it's great at the holidays too. Yeah, for sure. The obviously Wartime Wonders, like I said, the Christmas release is just come out, so definitely check that one out. the B Haptics vests, Samson, we haven't spoken about them. You've obviously got one. They're kind of, just want to quickly mention it if anyone is interested into the B Haptics vests. So if you don't know what they are, basically they're the vests that you can put on which have haptic feedback points all over it. And there's a few different options now, and you can get different colors and whatnot, but they have dropped down. They used to be quite expensive, but they are still like somewhat expensive, like the Pro one, which has a few, like most of the vibration points, which actually has less than what it used to before, but it's $30 cheaper, so it's not that much. But the X16 or the Air, I think, is what the new version is. That's $250 now instead of $330, so that's a big difference to try and get in there. And they've also come out with some armbands as well, at least made some better armbands that they had before.
Yeah,
but
they're smaller.
They're smaller, they're a bit cheaper as well. But if you do go on BHaptics website, there is a lot of Quest games that are actually supported on there. More than I realized, like just native Quest games on there. So if you are interested, definitely check out the BHaptics website for that. I know, Samson, you say you get a bit too hot when it comes to rhythm games, but
yeah, it's just like it's too heavy when you're moving that fast for like synth riders, and my hands are crossing and all that.
Right.
But I use it every week for breachers.
Yeah, for sure.
At times for hyperdash.
And then obviously Samsung Metro Awakening. This is the game that have you played much since the last time we spoke?
No, I got stuck and then I still haven't gone back.
Yeah, fair enough. I've
been hooked on Ancient Dungeon, Dan.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's consumed all your time. And we're not going to talk much about Metro Awakening. Obviously, we're talking about it by a length, but kind of a surprise, I thought, in terms of how good this game was. I expected it when I was looking at it, and sort of expected it to be that typical kind of big IP, but when it comes out onto the VR, it just, they probably didn't put too many resource or time into it and all that stuff, but they didn't do that. They nailed it. They did a really good game. And even though it doesn't look the best on Quest, like it really has some anti-aliasing issues constantly, but it's not as bad when you're in the actual main part of the game and you're going in the tunnels, because it's very dark and such, so it actually doesn't make too much of a difference. But when you're not in those kind of areas, it is bad. There's a lot of pop-ins and such, and I think they've fixed a little bit of that, but still, like the graphics don't look amazing. So that's definitely one where, like, if you do have a PC VR, if you do have a PlayStation VR, definitely get it on those platforms instead. But with that said, I've only played on Quest and I've had a great time. I'm on chapter 3 and it's it's a great time. I don't know if I'm going to play it over the holidays. It's a bit too spooky for me for holiday season, but maybe in the new year. Okay, Samson, let's round this off. We're into December now.
Well, I just want to say I do want to get into Thrill to Fight 2 as well. I have not done that either. It's
multiplayer only, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should jump into that for sure.
Yeah, we got to fight.
Yeah, I'm off next week. Let's fight. Okay, December. Let's go. Samson, I think this is your turn.
My turn. Premier League player. Premier League. I can't do a good British accent. I don't know. Premier League player in early access.
Yeah, you nailed it.
The House of Da Vinci VR releases.
Oh yeah, you didn't do an Italian accent for House of Da Vinci, did you?
No.
You don't want to attempt that. You don't want to attempt a Behemoth accent with the the low deep.
I think you nailed it. Attack on Titan VR released again.
Yeah.
Walkabout Milne Golf Holiday Hideaway. Action Hero released. Samsung XR headset and Android XR announcement for 2025. You
said that so fast, it sounded like Samsung's XR headset came out.
And a lot of Valve rumors galore. A lot of copium to be inhaled.
Not a Deckard.
In regards to the Deckard.
Yeah.
And Half-Life.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, in December, obviously, we've just covered these recently on prior podcasts, so definitely listen to that. But I do want to shout out a few of these. Obviously, House of Da Vinci. This is a game that was not on my radar, but it reviewed incredibly well.
Yeah, I think Inferno or somebody in the Discord said they liked it. I think it's a little too puzzly for me, Dan. I don't think I got.
Yeah, it might be a bit more hardcore puzzle game. Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I don't know. I mean, I'm curious, but I've got so many games to play now. Like this one of those games that I just can't play. Like if I was gonna play a puzzle game, I'd play that one that I was playing. I forget what it's called now. The one with
Seventh Guest.
No, I finished that one. The Last Clockwinder. You know, I'd go back to that and finish that or get close if I was going to. On there. But yeah, I just want to point out when it comes to Premier League player, we obviously had a friend of the show, Adam, who guested on the pod. Keepy Uppy commented on YouTube and he said, finally catching up, great review and great interview on Premier League player game, and you guys will jump on into it. I'm sold. So Keepy Uppy is going to jump into it. Fantastic early access kind of clever game with the motions that they've captured in there. But yeah, listen to that podcast to hear all about that one. And then Sam, I'll let you talk in a second, but I just want to plug again, Action Hero. Go play this game. It came out last week. We talked about it last week. It is phenomenal. It is like a little hidden gem that just popped up right at the end there. Came out the week after Behemoth, and it slays the Behemoth. I would say. But no, Action Hero, phenomenal game. Really fun if you like a game like Super Hot, but also if you like some just quirky fun. Like there's some of What the Bat in there. You know, there's a lot of What the Bat in there, actually. Silly goofiness. They've actually just updated it since the last time we spoke with bug fixes, and they've added more like dialogue for the director and such. So there's even more goofiness in there. Really, really great game. Really polished as well. Feels really good. And a really fun one that you could put into, give to other people during the holidays as well. If you're like showing off a few VR experiences, Action Hero is actually great for it, because very intuitive when it comes to controls, and obviously it's very heavily inspired by real life movies, and you can kind of see where those influences come from, which is really fun to have in VR as well. So yeah, I just want to plug that one more time. But Samson, you wanted to talk about Behemoth?
No.
No.
I mean, I haven't gotten much into it. I've only played up to the first Behemoth still, and now I think if there's anything I've learned is that I'm a few months behind.
Right.
And so yeah, I just haven't gotten back into it, and I do want to get back into Attack on Titan because the first season of that was really good. I also have to watch the second season of that.
Yeah, fair enough.
And going on,
play the game,
the rest of it. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. I heard the game is still iffy in terms of with issues and such.
I don't care what you've heard.
Fair enough.
I want my own experience.
Fair enough. And then Walkabout Holiday Hideaway. I mean, we've said this constant times.
Yeah, that's the best one, but we're saving it, Dan.
We're saving it for next week, but I just wanted to plug again, if you're interested to hear David and Edward from you've lost my train of thought.
From Walkabout, from Mighty
Coconut. We had a really good sit down. It's a big long pod. It ends up being like 2.5 hours or something, and I think an hour 40 or an hour 30, an hour 20, something like that. There's a lot of content in there from the interview, and we could have talked for even longer. But yeah, definitely if you're a Walkabout fan, we don't just talk about Holiday Hideaway. In fact, we avoid it for a long time. Yeah. But then we finally get into it. But it's a really good talk and looking back on their 2024 and such. And Samson, that is it. That is 2024. That's a lot.
What a year!
Right?
What a year!
I mean, let's wrap up this pod. Because we're about an hour and a half or so into this now.
Should we go month by month
again? Let's go month by month. What was our favorite thing? No. I had 2 questions is what I wrote down. And I throw this to anyone who's still listening or still watching, for you as well. Comment in Spotify, YouTube, Discord, letstalkoculus, gmail.com. Tell us, because I really want to hear this. And it's also interesting because then I also find out new games and such that I haven't played yet or whatnot. But Samson, just throw it out to you first. What is your favorite hidden gem game of this year? Now, when I say hidden gem, it doesn't have to be, oh, no one's heard of this game. Just more like not, maybe it's just a small little title. It's not Batman is what I'm trying to say.
You don't want me to say Metro? No, my hidden gem of the year. This is a tough one. I guess you're gonna make me pick one, so I wrote 2 here, and I'm gonna pick one.
You can pick 2. You can bend the rules. It's your podcast.
I'm gonna do it.
It's you. You can do whatever you want.
I'm gonna pick one, and it's Max Mustard / Underdogs.
Nice. I love what you did there. Are you pretty proud of yourself, aren't you?
Yeah, nailed it.
Go on.
That is my hidden gem. It was a fantastic platformer / brawler.
You know what? Actually, like as we talked about Odin Dogs at the start of this pod, I actually really want to get back into it now. I'm kind of in the mood. It's one of those that sometimes you don't think about it, but then as soon as you start talking about it,
it's a good workout too.
It is a good workout. It's so much fun to play, and yeah. So
what's your hidden gem?
My hidden gem is Miracle Pool. By far, Miracle Pool.
You need a miracle,
as mentioned, like probably the perfect mixed reality game that I love playing pool. I love playing snooker or snooker, as you like Americans say for some reason. I love playing snooker.
You just said the same thing twice, just so you know.
Snooker, and you say snooker.
Don't tell me what I say. I don't even know what I say. I don't know. I only ever read that word. I've never heard it.
Fair enough. Anyway, I love playing those kind of ball games, shall we say. And I don't play at all, really. Like even in I have a pool table in my building, actually. There's one downstairs, but I've only played it once there. But in general, like I haven't played pool properly since university. Like that I used to play a lot during going into pubs and such, but and bars and whatnot. But yeah, just to have this in the room, and I also find it a really relaxing game. I feel like it's a kind of a cozy game to me. I can put the TV on, I can play some pool, go around, and I don't have to move too much. But if I wanted to, I can really go around the table and lean over the kitchen counter or the island and such. So yeah, I love this game.
It's a chill game.
So what's the second question?
But I just want to say I did ask friend of the show, Noble Squashy, what his hidden gem of the year was, and it's Stilt, which came out in March. The platformer, yeah. He did crush me in some multiplayer Stilt when we played against one another for, 1st to 5 multiplayer games.
Nice. See, this is why I need to hear from everybody, because I don't remember Stilt whatsoever. So I need to hear from everybody. Go on.
Our backlogs are getting kind of huge. And what are the few games you want to focus on over the holidays?
A few games I want to focus on. Now, this slightly changed now I've heard everything else from what happened. But what I really want to go into, just to keep things like short, because, if I say everything on my backlog, then it's not really going to work. But Batman, for sure. I really want to complete Batman if I can over the holidays, or at least get like 80% in. Yeah, I really want to get close. Action Hero, I want to play a bit more of, obviously. I want to get into Maestro, which I haven't yet, as we spoke about, obviously with the new DLC. And I want to play a bit more of the 2 games that actually we had the guests on recently. So Premier League Player, I'm still working my way. There's like 36 different moments in there. So, and they get a little bit hard, and, especially when you don't play it for a while. So, Premier League Player and also Squingle. Squingle, I actually haven't played much of it since having the guests on the show, just for the show. But it's another cozy game that I could just sit in the living room and just play as
Puzzle away.
Yeah, and puzzle away itself. So yeah, so that is the games. And Samson, what are your games?
So I've been playing a lot of Ancient Dungeon so far, and I want to play a lot more Ancient Dungeon. Ancient Dungeon. It's hard to enunciate. But it's great. I'm really, really enjoying playing multiplayer. Crushed the boss a few times. It's a blast. I want to get into Quake 3 multiplayer, because remember a few weeks ago I said I updated my Team Beef things. Quake 3 was one of them, and I never played it. It's like entirely arena multiplayer
Quake 3
game.
is my favorite one.
Yeah, I want to get in there. And then all our talk about Maestro, and then I need to cut into Metro and I honestly finish it, but I need to at least finish chapter freaking 6. Let's get through this labyrinth and let's do it.
Sometimes it's just, when you're stuck nowadays, just look at the walkthrough, see if, someone can just
I already did that. Now I just have to go in and do it. Yeah.
I also want to do a quick shout out to Future Proof 4, who is in our Discord and also new Patreon of the show as well. You can support us at Patreon at patreon.com/letstalkoculus. But I just want to shout out, very active in the Discord, which is great to see. But this kind of question kind of spawned from him because he put in our non-VR gaming channel in the Discord channel. What do you call them? Like channels? Like channels within the channel? Yeah. He put out
our Discord server has channels.
That's it. The server. That's what I meant to say. He put he asked what is your backlog for the stuff that you haven't started or completed that you wanted to haven't completed that you wanted to complete, and he wrote down literally every game for the flat screen consoles. So that was a hard one to kind of list because I feel like there are way too many. But yeah, this kind of questions kind of inspired from what he put in the Discord. So shout out to him as well. But yeah, Samson, we got some playing to do over these holidays. But let's be honest, Samson, we say all these games. What we all need to play is every single walkabout course for 2024, so we can prepare for the next podcast. So let's end it here.
Get to work.
Let's get to work.
My arm is sore from Agent Dungeon, Dan.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, all the knife throwing.
All those knife stones, nice. So it's only right hand, right arm.
Yeah, I've been going right hand knife, left hand sword.
Nice. Have you done knife throwing in real life before?
Like axe throwing?
Yeah, no. The reason why I ask is because I see this in Toronto. There's axe throwing, but they also do knife throwing as well.
I never done knives. That sounds dangerous.
But I was gonna get it because it's like $40 or whatever. But then you get both. You get the axe and you also get the knives, and it's gonna be interesting because I love knife throwing. So I'm gonna book that in January and see if my skills translate from all these knife throwing games, which probably don't because it's so assisted in these games. But
yeah, I don't think so.
We'll see. All right, from everybody here, which is me and Samson. Wish everyone.
I've been Samson. Still don't know what that means.
I didn't say that. You said that. I just want to wish everyone a wonderful holiday. Because this is obviously the last podcast before the holiday. On the 27th, I think, the Friday, we'll have the Walkabout 2024 rankings. So stay tuned for that, for another cozy episode before we go into the new year, with another year of LTO. So thanks to everyone who supported us this year. Thanks to everyone who's listened and all those 66 diehards on Spotify as well. We really appreciate all of you. So have a great holiday, and we'll see you next week for some Walkabout rankings. Take care, everyone.
Stay tuned for Order 66.
Right.